I was like, man, if 12 people show up, this would be, okay, 15, that would be crazy, you know? Like, there's like 50, 60, I think I sold 75 tickets. My first event, it's our first event. I mean, this is a team effort. All right, so tomorrow I'm talking about how to be a construction business owner. It's mindset, but one thing, I think it was one of you guys, was like, I think it was you, it was like, yeah, man, you don't talk about just mindset. Like, there's a lot of guys on YouTube that talk about mindset, and that's all they talk about, right? But I want to get through this just to set a foundation, and it's not going to be boring. It's actually fascinating. It's like, and there's tactful tips in here also, but I want you to imagine a village a long time ago had one problem. The problem was it had no water unless it rained. And so to solve this problem, the villagers brought these two contractors to bid the job. The goal was to have water delivered on a daily basis. So these two guys volunteered to take on the task. And the villagers awarded the contract to both of them, actually. They felt a little competition between these two guys could add, a little bit more competition, would keep the prices low and ensure a backup supply of water. So Ed, the first contractor, he ran out immediately and he began walking back and forth with two steel buckets along a very long trail to the water source. He would grab, this is Ed, he would grab the buckets and run back. And now he immediately began making money, right? So he labored morning to dusk, hauling water back and forth to the village. He would empty the buckets into a large holding tank. Then he would run back out each morning and do the same thing. So it was very hard work, but he was very happy to be making some money. But Bill, the second contractor, disappeared for a while. He was not seen for many months. So this made Ed very happy because he had no competition anymore, because Ed was making all the money. But Bill had written a business plan. Okay, going back to what Vivek and Alan were talking about. He created a corporation. He found investors. He employed a director of operations to plan, manage, and complete the work. And returned 6 months later, and guess what he did? He built a pipeline. Bill's team had built a large stainless steel pipeline which connected the village to the lake, and he knew that there had been some complaints about dirt in Ed's water, and Bill announced to the village that his water was cleaner than Ed's water. So Bill also announced that he could supply the village water 24/7. Ed could only deliver water on the weekdays because he did not work on the weekends. Then Bill announced that he would charge 75% less than Ed, for this higher quality and more reliable source of water. So the village cheered and ran immediately for the faucet at the end of Bill's pipeline. The water was delicious. Ed immediately lowered his rates down by 75%. He bought 2 more buckets, added covers to his buckets, and began hauling 4 buckets each trip. He hired his 2 sons to give him a hand for the night shift and on the weekends. Does it sound familiar to anyone here? He said to them, "Hurry back because someday this business will belong to you." For some reason, after college, his 2 sons never returned. Ed now had employees demanding higher wages, better benefits, and only wanted to haul 1 bucket at a time. Bill, on the other hand, realized that if this village needed water, then other villages must need water too. This is the pipeline guy. He revised his business plan. Remember, ever-evolving systems? He went off to sell his high-speed, high-volume, and low-cost clean water delivery system to villages throughout the world. Talk about scalability, right? He only makes a penny per bucket of water delivered, and he delivers billions of buckets of water. I got chills. It's awesome. And all that money flows into his bank account on autopilot. So Bill had developed a pipeline to deliver money to himself as well as water to the villages. Bill lived happily ever after, and Ed worked hard for the rest of his life and also had financial problems forever and after. So the point is, the buckets or the pipeline, your choice. Which one do you guys want to choose? So are we working hard or working smart? I mean, you guys heard that before. But think about your business. Are you doing all the work yourself? Are you project managing? Are you the superintendent? Are you the bookkeeper? Are you like I said, the first couple of years, you might have to do a lot of that yourself, but there comes a time where you do need to think about your pipeline, build it, develop it. You can get it done for cheaper, and people know what to do. It functions on autopilot. Think for yourself. Are you working on building a pipeline, or are you carrying buckets? Also realize that Bill, the second guy, never carried buckets. I thought that was kind of fascinating. I actually just realized that right now. I was like, that guy never carried one bucket, which is interesting to me. But on a construction perspective, it is nice if you have a little drywall experience. You know how to frame. You've done it as a kid. Like I was 14, I built a doghouse, and then I built a picnic table, then I built a barn, then I worked with the guy, learned how to frame the barn with the guys who built George W. Bush's home in Texas, and then a lot of these guys are now working for Chip and Joanna, and like I was teaching them how to use a nail gun, like in my later, when I'm 18, 19, when I lived in Texas, and then I moved to Jacksonville, stayed in construction, and then started my own LLC, and then the rest is history. Now you're here. If you have seen this picture of me on my Instagram, yeah. You must imagine the radical transformation and like, what's happening here? You know what I'm saying? How did this Jesse, 19 or 20 even, 19 really, go to this Jesse, 29, 30, 10 years later, running an 8-figure construction business, doing maybe 7-figure real estate business, creating content online in the pursuit of changing other people's lives? There had to be a major mindset shift, because it all starts up here with your actions. I want to share the core fundamentals, some of them, that how I altered my reality. Remember my keynote, how we can alter our programming? Well, these are some of those things. Let's dive into this. It's all about getting your foundation right. So the first thing is to think bigger. And I'm going to try to move quick through this. So we want to think big. The world doesn't need more people thinking small, right? It's time to stop hiding out and start stepping out into the unknown. Stop needing and start leading. Time to start sharing your gifts, because each one of you guys all have a gift. And I believe every one of us, all humans on earth, have a purpose and a passion. And when we lock into that light beam, which I did when I was 14, when I cut that first piece of wood, I was like, whoa, that felt good. This is my light beam. And it just took me, it took work, but it took me through that path. So we want to start sharing our gifts. We don't want to pretend like they don't exist. And don't keep them to yourself. It's all about sharing with others. Like I'm doing here. I think all of us it's like a spider web. We all can help each other in some way. So we want to start doing life in a big way. Small thinking and small actions lead to being both broke and unfulfilled. It's all about money. It's about fulfillment also. Helping others can be one of those things, or whatever makes you fulfilled. It's that light beam, the passion. Big thinking and big action leads to having money, meaning, and fulfillment. Okay, imagine a circle like this. The circle represents a sphere of capacity. Can everyone see this? Okay. So let's say that's your circle of capacity. But that's a problem. So something pops up that you've never done before, right? So there has to be a quantum leap for you to figure this out, right? So what you do, you're fighting and you can't, you're fighting. Eventually you just realize that you need to grow your circle of capacity. And then the next problem happens. So what do? You grow your understanding. And this is like stacking. Who here has seen that video where I'm like, I don't remember what it's called, but I talk about the growth rings on a tree and where you want to stack knowledge. Saw it, Kirk? That was a good one. Oh, it was something like, do I need to know what I'm doing to be a GC or something like that? I'm like, yeah, you need to know what you're doing. Dumb, like, click on this video? Of course you do. But it's stacking knowledge, but it's also that circle of capacity. And it's going to continue to grow as the more you conquer and fix problems. So I want to talk about my 3 layers of thinking. And I was just sitting there one night. I was like, I kind of have like these layers. It's not just like, I'm just Jesse and I'm just thinking about stuff and that's it. There's level 1. This is normal life, right? So for example, go to work, come home, eat, sleep, shower, trim your nails, grocery shopping. No, I'm not going to do a nail clipping picture. Making small little decisions that don't greatly impact your life. Hanging with friends, being with family, dealing with your pets, getting a haircut. It's the daily maintenance of life, okay? Level 1. You have to think here in order to survive and maintain your life. You need to eat, sleep, shower, get your haircut, feed your dog, do the laundry, do the basic tasks. This is survival. That only requires level 1 thinking. And the problem here is a lot of people get stuck in level 1, or they never branch out past, the circle of capacity thing. And because it takes work, and it's scary to take that quantum leap and get past the unknown. It's like all these scary monsters out there, like this black void. But when you take a step, your path illuminates in front of you, especially if you're in the light beam of passion. A lot of people, they get stuck in level 1. They go to work, they get up, they do their daily maintenance, they come home and they play video games, they watch Netflix. They're stuck. Couch potato, right? Preach it, right? Then they eat dinner, go to bed, and then repeat. So that cycle is hard to break without the right mindset, and that's what we're talking about today. All right, so level 2 is a more elevated level of thinking, all right? So thinking and working through a specific task with vision. And by the way, this doesn't come from anybody, I don't think. I think this is just me thinking about these 3 levels. So if it resonates with you, amen. But you can be conscious of level 1 thinking, but you're in that level 2 flow state. So you could be working on something specific here. Like I could be feeding my dog Jake, but my mind is focused on a larger issue. I'm still brainstorming about something else, right? So I'm not just feeding Jake. Thoughts of how my business is doing as a whole might be still slightly present, but it's not my main focus. I'm focused on the task at hand, but I'm still thinking about it. I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm able to maintain this level 2 thinking as long as there are no distractions in the level 1 emergencies, right? Like on a maintenance level. So level 3, this is the accumulation of a happy, healthy, fulfilled human with no level 1 distractions. And level 2 is managed and it's functioning almost on autopilot. Level 3 is like this dude. Really high level, 100,000 foot view. You can chart out your path. You can see obstacles, vision, planning for the future. So for me in this state, there's a constant cycle of all the projects, the open house flips, I'm trying to get out of doing that. But future business goals, future real estate goals, future life goals, future marriage goals. Shout out Aaron. Thinking about God, I'm thinking about my relationships. How am I affecting people, my friends, family? So everything is a part of this global picture, 100,000 foot view. Problem is I was living in kind of this whirlwind state for a long time. And I didn't ever really just hang in the level 1 or 2, I was constantly in this state. And I've talked a little bit to some of you guys about burnout. And it is a thing to be careful of. It's serious. You don't want to burn out, but first couple of years, I've said it a bunch of times already, takes work, but don't stay there. Take that money and then make the hire. Delegate with that money that you make in the first couple of years. You can't live in this state. So we want to focus our energy on growth, not maintenance. So maintenance is what? Which level? 1. Yeah. So there's a lot of tasks that, and I talk about this a lot, so I don't think I need to dwell on it, but cleaning the house, grocery. Who here mows their own lawn? Do you enjoy mowing your own lawn? Okay, so maybe there's some passion there. Do you enjoy cleaning your own house? Maybe you can delegate that. Okay, so for me, it's like buy the lawnmower, go to the gas station, get oh my gosh, the weed eater string. It's like, dude, maybe one day I'll be a Home Depot dad. But at this point, someone picks up our dog's poop. It's down to if it's a level 1 thing, it's gonna be delegated without question. I used to delegate meal prep, but now I have a beautiful wife, Erin. She cooks amazing food.
But I don't grocery shop.
Yeah, we get our groceries delivered to us. All right, so now even small to medium size tasks within my business, right? And then eventually even larger tasks. Like remember Mark, put down your last hammer of sales. Like eventually there's I hired Ron, the COO. There's some larger tasks, right? The operations of my company, what? You can delegate that? Yeah, you hire a COO. So there's certain things that you have to do yourself, right? No one's gonna shower for you. You need to find the things that you can, not do. And work to delegate those things. And by the way, I said the word work. Delegation takes work. It's not just oh yeah, mow the lawn. That's a bad example, but how long do you want it? Do you want the edges trimmed this way? Do you want the sidewalk blown? It's if you don't tell, it's classic subcontractor, but you don't tell a guy that, it's gonna be a mess. You know what I'm saying? So you have to, like I talked about this whole time, to delegate, you have to understand what you're gonna do, like build the pipeline, understand the pipeline, and then tell people how to work it, you know? So it's easier with smaller tasks to delegate. Delegating larger tasks is harder. You don't want to look like this guy, right? This is the Mary Poppins guy. Who here has seen Mary Poppins? Not my wife. You've never seen it. Yeah, you never. You've never seen Lion King either, okay? What's up with this lady? Just kidding. We'll sit and watch it one night, babe. People that try to do it all themselves, it's a trap, okay? That's this slide. So it doesn't have to be that way. If you're doing all those things that I talked about, laundry, grocery shopping, blah, 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 all your own cooking, even, clean the house, how in the world would you have any time to fulfill your purpose? That was a line right there. I believe that is a disservice to your true worth. Who here, we're worth at least 100 grand, 200 grand, 500, a million. Does there need to be a number on it? It's infinite. There's no number on our worth. Money is temporal in this world. Our worth is eternal, And so this is, we want to be focusing on things that not just make us money, but bring us true fulfillment and bring value to others in a big way. Like I said in the beginning, think bigger. So I know you guys are all wanting to grow. A lot of you already have the mindset that you need. The fact that you're even here at my business conference, you bought a ticket, you bought a hotel, you bought, I don't know if you have a rental car or paid for Uber to get here, whatever it was, all these things, you're here. So you guys have the mindset of, I want to learn, I want to grow, let's go. But stop spending your time on the low-hanging fruit. Anyone can get that level 1 stuff. The foundation of your life, it's digging and it's dirty. All right, when I was putting in the foundation of my life, it was complicated, it was tough, and it was not pretty to look at. It was ugly. Mark could tell you. Tell him, bro, I was ugly. He's nodding. So most of it, like you guys are in your first couple years of business, like 1 to 5, 1 to 8, whatever it is. Even those 1 to 2 guys, it's not Instagram worthy. You know what I'm saying? Like, still, I encourage you to post what you're doing. But it's not pretty. It's not pretty. It's about slowly building a team, not too fast, okay? Because you don't have the money. You don't want to get in debt. But, if this is 0 and this is money up here, you don't want to put yourself further in debt to necessarily, if you can help it. Focus on building your business above the line and then make the higher down here so it brings you but not below the 0 line. So don't get that fancy office. When I first started, a couple years in, I was like, you know what? I want an office. So I got the office, and it just, we could always want a bigger office, bigger truck, better house. But if you could focus on saving your money to invest in those future employees, it's a sacrifice, but that's how you're going to be successful. You don't need to cover up your insecurities with materialistic things. And it's not about putting on a show for others. So the goal here, I know I talk about this so much, but you gotta focus on productive things, especially in the first 5 years. I'm not gonna stick on this, but you guys get it. Who here spends more than, 5 hours a month watching Netflix? Yeah, blame it on the wife. So you have to watch it with her, right? But cool, not a lot of you raise your hand. That's good. Sometimes maybe it's a documentary, it's profitable. But if you can do your systems at night, if you can do your learning at night, because it's I just don't know. Bro, what are you doing at night? Playing video games? Come on. So you want to focus on your foundation, and you're going to build that mental stamina. Think about yourself as a machine. When you don't watch Netflix and you work at night and during the day, you build something that stacks. Then when you have an 8-figure business, you're able to work hard. Alan is he's not here anymore, but he's one of the hardest workers I know. He'll just go, and he comes in on Sundays, and I'm not recommending this, I'm just saying he does it, and he can estimate, he can project manage, but you have to learn how to train your mind. He's trained his mind, he's stacked it for so many years, even beyond me. But I used to think that once I built up my life, that was when I was actually going to start fulfilling my purpose. But I realize now that I fulfill my purpose every day. So now is the time to make it happen. Now is the time to make someone smile. Purpose is today. So I've realized that life is one long building process. You're always building on top of the foundation that you've laid before. So everything that you do now affects you in the future, like the fruits, the roots, the seeds. It all starts with the seed that you put. So maybe you want to get a puppy. That requires planning, preparation. Maybe you want to be a contractor. That requires planning and preparation. Maybe you want to have a family one day. That requires planning and preparation as well. My point is, even though preparation process is crucial, don't let it slow you down from being fulfilled in the moment. Don't let it slow your dreams and ambitions down, because life is a constant building process, and that's where the work comes in. Nothing good comes without lots of work. So you have to get used to working hard, which is kind of what I'm talking about. Get that mental stamina, get used to just like working hard, and then you can start delegating and then managing them working hard. You kind of slowly make that transition. So you're always building for the next season of your life, and life goes from one stepping stone to the next. So this is kind of tying into what I talked about with the office, getting it too soon, but I had kind of a leaning tower, right? It's impressing others, making the client, like you think maybe, sometimes it can help, hey client, like look, come to my nice office, whatever. Or this could be related to fancy car, maybe it's a watch. You don't need a Rolex. Get a Rolex after 10 years, you know what I'm saying? I had to learn to be willing to stop climbing and go backwards and work on my foundation. So people are like, bro, like Jesse's going backwards, it looks like he's doing less jobs, or like he's not doing whatever as much, like it doesn't look like he's as successful, Like where's his nice big, shouldn't he have like company trucks and like all these things? Or an office, shouldn't he at least have a nice office? Don't be worried about what other people are thinking, because life and business and everything that you're doing as a human is an inside game. It's inside. It's like whatever you decide to do and no one's looking, you know what I'm saying? That's where the true gold happens. But you just want to focus on that foundation. Build it as wide and as deep as possible. When you first make your first few $100,000, don't just go blow it on a Lamborghini. Now, a lot of you are much smarter than that. But you want to get lower into the dirt for paying for higher salaried people, right? You want to get lower into the dirt. That's something Gary Vee always says. Bro, it's like in the dirt for like so many years, I'm doing an interview with him in like 14 days, virtually. But you want to get lower into the dirt by building stronger business systems, investing the time and the sacrifice that the business really needs. There's a balance here though, right? Because I'm talking about not getting a Lamborghini and blah, blah, blah. But there's a poverty mindset that you don't want to have. It's not wise for you to deprive yourself of basic needs, of course. So it's like, go out to dinner with your wife. Like, enjoy your life. I'm not saying that, you guys get the balance here, right? Money is meant to move around, so don't get stuck in poverty mindset and just make more money, bro, So what's the most valuable asset in life? Time. It's worth more than anything. So it's not time equals money. You know what it equals? Any guesses? Everything. All that we have. It's all about time. That's why I decided to be a business owner, because I could buy time from people. Scalability is the capacity to be changed in size or scale. I've taken the small little things in my life, or the medium ones, or some of the larger ones now, like I was talking about, and I take valuable time, and I figured out a more time-effective and scalable solutions. So what are the things in your life that can be scaled? There's a lot of things that can be scaled, right? If you're doing them manually, it can't be scaled. But what's one example of, does anyone have something that in their business that they want to scale more? You could scale anything. You could scale the way you do, you could have a proposal template. So you don't have to build, from scratch every time, which, estimating, do everything the same way. Everything, it just can be stacked, So you realize that time is everything. And so the day that you realize that your brain space is worth its weight in gold, that's the day you start on your journey to true success. You want to guard this. Hey, I got a quick question about whatever. Or hey, can you come out and hang and get dinner with us tonight, group of friends? But you have like a stack of things to think about or do or blah blah blah. Don't let people steal this from you. This is one of the most valuable things that you have as a human. It's worth its weight in gold. So don't be afraid to say no. Mark, how many times did I say no? We were friends before we were working together, and I said no. I still said yes, but I said no a lot to different things, and I couldn't go to the movies, and I couldn't blah, blah, blah. So like you're working on something, and someone comes in the room, but you're thinking about something, especially if you're in zone 3, phase 3, you want to stay in that flow state, right? So don't let them steal that brain space, because you're making mad moves right there. It's really awesome when you're in that state. One thing that I've done to take that a little bit of action. Say I think of something, right? I want to take action, but maybe it's going to take me longer than 20, 30 seconds to actually do it. So I want to do it later. I use a Siri reminder, okay? So you could be laying in bed. You could be thinking all these thoughts. Sorry, babe. And I'm like, yeah, hey, Siri, remind me to do X, Y, and Z. Remind me to call the client tomorrow at 2 p.m. Or remind me to make sure that Ron does the framing inspection, or whatever you guys got going on. I've trained my staff also, and Ron was like, Siri's listening to me. And Ron was like, I've never used Siri reminders in my life, and a lot of these guys haven't. And so you can go to your reminders list, and a lot of this is in that Mac course that I have, but you can move it to the next day, you can snooze it 1 hour, blah, blah, blah. But I wouldn't be able to have an 8-figure business without Siri. So my main girl, sorry, but no, just kidding. All right, so that's my biggest hack, by the way. Like if you ask, what's your biggest productivity hack? Siri. As a business owner, we don't want to worry about the things that we can't control, all right? Smoke some weed, man. No, just kidding. The point is, we don't want to worry about the things we can't change. We want to focus on the things that we can change and affect. We want to leave out the adrenaline and the emotions in our decisions. There's no reason to cry about the past when you can't change it. You want to learn from your failures. Don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. Just start taking action. Fail forward. We're built off the lessons we learn from our failures. When you fail, stop and think about what happened. Break it down critically. Analyze how you'll handle future situations. Focus your energy on the things we can make positive change in, not focusing on other people's actions. We can't change the past, but we can heal and forgive. So why worry about what would have happened, which decision you decided to make? If you chose a different option, you can only see so far down the road of each choice. You know what I mean? So just pick one and don't stress about your decisions. But don't get stuck right here, in front of this path choice, because that's analysis paralysis. But I like to talk about the 30-70 rule, because if you know 30% of the info, go for it. If you know more than 70%, you're too late, right? But if you know less than 30% of the information about the decision, you're too early. Sometimes I get stuck in that 29% situation, and that's why I have Erin, because she's more analytical than I am. She's like, babe, we gotta have it figured out. I'm like, well, we can't spend all our time. We're gonna miss the deal. Someone else is gonna buy the real estate thing or the client thing, whatever it may be, anything in life. But there's a balance. So maybe we're shooting for what, 50, 60%, 49? So we can't change the past, but we can heal and we can forgive. Make the choice to apply yourself. You wanna think bigger, delegate the small things, focus on your foundation, grow slow, and not stress about it all. So that's kind of everything I just talked about. But very often, I find myself in a very hard situation with an extremely difficult problem in front of me. The choice to apply my mind is mine to make. It's like this, you have to apply your mind to get that circle of capacity to grow. I wasn't interested in the content in school, but now I'm much more intrigued by what I'm doing. This is my passion. I love what I do. This is it. I have found my passion. This is the light beam. And this right here is a part of, it might even turn out to be the main part of Jesse Lane, is this, but maybe it'll be bigger in the future. This is the first one. So this is really exciting. But I'm much more ready and willing to apply my mind because I don't care about Christopher Columbus. I mean, he's great. 1492, 1462, whatever. What's the date? I always get it wrong. But it's like memorizing dates just didn't really click with me during school. So it's so rewarding to get through to the other side, and it feels of a problem, and it feels so rewarding to be looking back at a problem, knowing that I overcame it, knowing now that I can tackle much larger problems. Circle of capacity. Who here's ever heard of a circle of capacity? Who's gonna remember it now? Everybody. Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. So Aaron and I recently watched the movie, who here has seen Passengers? Yeah, a couple guys. So this is about not ignoring the small symptoms. It was about a man who wakes up too soon on a spaceship that was headed to a new planet, 90 years left in flight time. Yeah, he woke up too soon and he had 90 years to go. It's oh crap. He winds up waking up another passenger. What's that girl's name? The actress? Yeah, Jennifer Lawrence. He wakes up Jennifer Lawrence. And they have to troubleshoot the ship that was doomed for failure. because I had a mechanical problem. So it started off with a few small symptoms. Simple error messages, like, oh, that was weird, but then it's fine, so they move on, right? But then it quickly progressed into a much larger problem, and they both almost lost their lives fixing it at that point, because they had waited so long for this thing. It started getting worse and worse and worse, and then it's like, oh crap, we gotta fix this thing now. So things that start out as small problems typically grow into larger problems. So small leaks in your business's finances, right, can lead to very large financial problems. Small pains in your body can lead to large problems if not looked into quickly. This isn't just business, guys. Things on your house left undone too long can turn into larger possible structural issues. So strive to be proactive in all aspects of life, because a proactive approach is far better than a lackadaisical one. So really, in closing, I want to give you guys just a spattered list of general tips and keys of how to win as a business owner. So you want to make the choice to apply yourself to the challenges and the obstacles that will come. Apply your mind. The difference between success and ultimate failure is how you decide to handle the problems, and if you decide to learn from them or hold grudges. Never go, this is a kind of a scattered list, but just stick with me. Never go back on promises or deals that you've made. Be a person of your word and integrity. When making decisions, make the decision after you have a minimum of 30% of the information. Don't wait until after you have 70% of the information, because it's probably too late. Don't get stuck in analysis process. Don't just save to invest. Boom. Yes, I love this group, man. You guys got to come back next year. Don't buy fancy liabilities. Focus on spending time and money building assets and buying assets. You can build them too, because we're all contractors here, right? We got a painter, we got this guy, that guy, we got the architect. Mike. Use phone reminders for everything and a solid calendar app. I use Fantastical too. It just works for me. I can just plug it all in the title bar and it pulls in where it is, the time. I can put 2 and the letter P, and it is, okay, 2 p.m. and I have an auto 1 hour. So it's like, okay, from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. you'll be at Southern Grounds with Mark for lunch. It's like, I just say it and just done. Like Google Calendar's like you're scrolling through, trying to pick 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Anyway, don't be lazy. Work harder and smarter than everyone you know. It's not just about working hard, guys. You guys like the buckets, the pipeline, work smart. Be kind to all people. Don't be afraid to fail. Learn from your failures. Take on larger and larger obstacles as your circle of capacity grows. That's how you grow as a person. If you're not uncomfortable, then you're not growing. Take advantage of every minute. Don't waste any time. Every moment has the opportunity to be spent wisely. Spend as much free time as possible learning and growing and not playing. Now, sometimes go out and play. Like, go get a beer with the guys. I'm not saying ever, never, never. But there's got to be that percentage there, maybe 5-10% or less than 10. So life balance is important, which is what I just talked about. So spending more time doing things than thinking and talking about it. The clarity will come when you just start doing. Like Alan, who just walked in, who just started doing this project, and the clarity is going to come. But then there's also a flip of that coin to when you start, okay, this is the direction I want to go, get a plan together, kind of get that clarity, get that business plan, and it'll happen, and so the clarity will come. Life is about taking action, and that's the main point. Taking action, massive action, is what moves us forward. So regarding your one big goal, does everyone here have like one big goal? Like, is it your company? Is there any other goals other than your company here? Family? Absolutely. I mean, to me, God, family, it's like, absolutely. There's a thing, but it's like goal, like outside of like spirituality, family, of course, like dogs. No, I'm just kidding. Those are our kids. So you want to pick one thing, like that one big goal, and you want to stack knowledge on that topic, like layer your learning. Like this is the circle of capacity, but if you look at it differently, it's like the growth rings on a tree, right? Like I said before. You want to layer your learning. You don't want to spread thin across the board. It's nice to know a lot of stuff, but like Bill Kilgannon's guy, Dave Monk, he's like, oh yeah, you need to do this many turns on the concrete truck. It's like, that's kind of cool. That's like really into construction, but you can't know everything about everything. You want to know everything about your one thing. You only have so much time and available energy to spend. So, and then delegate those small things. Have people mow your lawn and everything else. And be conscious what comes into your subconscious mind. Everything you watch, everybody you talk to, if you're going to watch a movie, those things are in your mind now, you know? Like, it's like the blinders to your soul. It's like what you let come in is what's inside of you, and that's what's going to come out. Sometimes it's best to put on our blinders. You know, you don't have to talk to everybody. You don't have to entertain you don't have to go to that movie with friends or whatever. Again, this is a list of just general things here at the end, but always be love, never lose your temper, ever. Have control over your emotions. Believe in the higher power, because I'll guide you. Be patient with others that don't understand what you understand. Make sense? Be patient. Trust the process. Good things take time. This business that you're building, good things take time. It's gonna happen. You might not make money the first couple of years, but at year 4, you're gonna make money. If you don't, call me. Show empathy to others in hard situations. Understand that most of the time it feels great at first, but it may hurt later, right? And that's its own little point. If it feels, most of the time it feels good at first, it's gonna hurt later. If it's hard at first, it's gonna feel great later. Investments, right? Learn the skill of delayed gratification. And here's another point here. Don't go to college unless you're passionate about becoming a doctor, lawyer, surgeon, or anything that requires a college degree. How many people here went to college? Everybody. Wow, okay. Well, don't go, all right? I'm gonna get like mobbed. Y'all can all catch me outside, all right? Most of the time, college will only, slow you down. I mean, look what Alan just said on the MBA program. I mean, that's fantastic. And the fact that he worked 20 years or however many years, and then went back and was like, oh, it was all kind of clicking. Oh man, I should have done that differently or better. I think that's fantastic. So I'm not hating on it, but I just think you'll learn so much working for a Haskell or like Build It or watching YouTube, Jesse Lane. Self-education is for successful entrepreneurs and business people. So if you have that, I guess every person is different, right? So I don't need someone. Actually, I function way worse when someone's over top of me saying, you need to do this. This is the way I want it done. You need to do this. I'm more like, whoa, all right, this is the way I want you to do it, or this is the way I want to do it. My brain only works a certain way, so that's why I failed school. But you want to spend lots of time learning for yourself, because remember, inside game. It's all about what's happening inside. It's not about what other people are looking at. Eventually, it could be other people see that you've made all this sacrifice. Like me, I'm able to stand here now because of that sacrifice that I put in for almost a decade. 15 years really, since I was 14, saying yes, late at night, going out and running the saw until 2 a.m. and then getting up at 6, doing my homework because I was homeschooled. You were homeschooled too. And Jonathan, you have a business for 2 years and you're only 20. You started at 18, it's amazing. But anyways, you remind me of myself a little bit. But so it just takes that passion. So find a mentor, right? But also, the other way, find people who can learn from you, right? So it's kind of that's kind of what I'm doing here. I got these guys, Bill, Alan, whatever, but then I'm kind of doing that, take all Alan's knowledge and I give it to you. Just kidding. But that's what I've done with my YouTube channel, is trying to give back. I did it, who here knows that I had a guitar lesson YouTube channel? Kirk, Jonathan, a couple guys. Okay, most of you guys, Levy. So I did that before because I was like, oh, I like playing guitar. I want to learn about it. So I gave a lesson when I first moved to Jacksonville to some dude in the room. I was like, wait, I could just film myself doing this and I could teach more people. Then I got millions of views on the guitar channel, which some of you know about. But it's all about learning something, and you don't have to be an absolute professional before you can start making content about it. I like it. You're like, what is he talking about, man? All right, give me a guitar. No, I'm just kidding. All right, emotional intelligence, relational maturity, exercise, drink water, eat vegetables, get lots of sleep. Don't get out of bed. This is my personal motto. Don't get out of bed until you're fully recharged and reset. Stay in shape, take care of your body, always be organized, focus on the physical as well as digital organization. All right, so Google Drive, get your folders right, bro. Don't just put everything in My Drive. My Drive, have folders for sub stuff. Your Apple Notes, have it be folders and subfolders. I have a YouTube folder, and then I have and I have even some J-Lane construction stuff, and then there's all subfolders, so you want to just use folders. That's organization. Because what are we trying to build? An organization. So you want to set yourself up, and this is like literally like I've almost done. You want to set yourself up for future success, always. Like that could be anything in life. Like I'll put something out in front of the door. This is a minimal example for myself tomorrow morning. Or I'll snooze that email for 6 months from now about a client I want to follow up with. Kind of cool, right? We talked about a job, snooze the email. Then it's like, oh, it pops up and it's like, Jesse, thanks for reaching back. Like, remember Nathan? That's what I did. Ground up townhouse development. He's like, oh, thanks for reaching out. Yeah, we're almost done permitting. You're gonna bid it. So anyway, leave yourself notes, do reminders, snooze the email, don't be late, show up on time, respect other people's time, and keep that commitment to showing up. If you're late, no one's gonna respect you. The first time someone's late, do you respect people who are late? No, yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, and if you are gonna be late, communicate. No one can always control traffic and stuff. Like, things happen. Like a drunk driver I was in she was driving, and I was in her passenger seat, and this guy comes in, and we were sitting at a stoplight, and just boom, with the truck, and that could have took us out at the wrong angle, but it, by the grace of God, grazed us, took out her whole mirror, and smashed into the other guy's Miata, what's it called? Miata. Anyways, so don't allow everyone free reign to your brain space. I talked about that before, because they'll run with it. It's not theirs, bro. It's yours, and it's valuable. Guard it with all that you have. I'm not saying don't be sociable. Networking, your network is your net worth, right? People are everything, but it's your brain space. So set that time aside for yourself and get that brain space flowing. Not everything deserves an answer. Hey, like I don't really have an example for that, but you don't have to answer everyone's questions all the time, you know? Always think big. You're capable of much more than average. And if it takes less than a minute, just do it now. Don't procrastinate. Write your thoughts and goals out tomorrow, the night before. Learn from your past mistakes, but don't dwell on them. Life will always be about solving problems. We all have them. They aren't going away. It's how you handle them that gets you further and farther along. And lastly, work hard to find what you're passionate about, because work will never feel like work. It will only feel like positive and exciting progress towards your one big goal. So that's the mindset you need. Thank you, guys.